Welcome back to the Not Televised Revolution, the only media show on the internet that is real punk rock media, but we're still looking for our Butch Vig. I mean, come on.
Absolutely. Welcome to the Not Televised Revolution, the only show on the internet that is passing host around like a joint.
The only show on the internet that has crap cameras and crap microphones, but it doesn't matter to us.
We don't care if you like us.
Yeah.
This is my show, obviously. So, how are you doing today, Dale?
My dude, Bob Bobson, the everyman. I am fucking thrilled that you are taking the host chair. This is a first. This is the first any media that I've done where someone else is the host. And so I actually just kind of had a heart palpitation. I'm fucking excited.
You're having heart palpitations. Let's not even get into that. How about we the topic of the day is obviously the Muller report and his first statement. How about we just listen to this crusty old white guy?
All right. Do a countdown when you start the video so I can the closed captions.
All right. So I'm going to start this in 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
2 years ago, the acting attorney general asked me to serve as special counsel, and he created the special counsel's office. The appointment order directed the office to investigate Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. This included investigating any links or coordination between the Russian government and individuals associated with the Trump campaign.
That's a lot of word salad.
Now, I have not spoken publicly during our investigation. I'm speaking out today because our investigation is complete. The Attorney General has made the report on our investigation largely public. We are formally closing the special counsel's office, and as well, I'm resigning from the Department of Justice to return to private life. I'll make a few remarks about the results of our work.
That would be nice.
But beyond these few remarks, it is important that the office's written work speak for itself.
Well, it'd help if you didn't redact it.
Let me begin where the appointment order begins, and that is interference in the 2016 presidential election. As alleged by the grand jury in an indictment, Russian intelligence officers who were part of the Russian military launched a concerted attack on our political system. The indictment alleges that they used sophisticated cyber techniques to hack into computers and networks used by the Clinton campaign.
Sophisticated cyber techniques, like posting a meme?
Yeah, really?
Sorry, I had to stop him right there. It was a little bit too much there. I don't understand how it's in our interest to do this, but apparently it's in our interest to get back into the Cold War. It worked so well last time, right?
Well, it worked well for Halliburton, and
Boeing, Lockheed Martin did great.
And there's two more that are really big.
Raytheon, of course. Can't forget Raytheon. But there is another one. You're right. There is another one that's really big. Who are they? You guys got Google. You get the point.
Look it up, you lazy fucking bastards!
All right. I've taken enough breaks. We can listen to this crinkly old guy again.
Keep going, my dude.
All right, here we go.
They stole private information and then released that information through fake online identities and through the organization WikiLeaks. The releases were designed and timed to interfere with our election and to damage a presidential candidate. And at the same time as the grand jury alleged in a separate indictment, a private Russian entity engaged in a social media operation where Russian citizens posed as Americans in order to influence an election.
Because we're so dumb.
These indictments contain allegations, and we are not commenting on the guilt or the innocence of any specific defendant. Every defendant is presumed.
Sorry, what was that?
Why won't you defend any innocence?
Well, I mean, he wasn't really presuming that there was going to be any, or he wasn't going to comment on the guilt and innocence because that's not really his job. It's more his job to generate the evidence as opposed to saying whether or not that person's innocent. That's supposed to be a jury.
And that's, that's kind of the meat of this episode, is that Muller did a bunch of work and told us everything that we already...
Not only told us everything that we already knew, but he did a bunch of work, spent a whole bunch of money to find out literally nothing. And in the beginning, it was not going to amount to anything. It was assumed that there was nothing there, and their office didn't even have the power to do anything about it.
Right, and that's what we learned today. Let's keep going on the video.
Impotent from the start.
Innocent unless and until proven guilty. The indictments allege, and the other activities in our report describe, efforts to interfere in our political system. They needed to be investigated and understood, and that is among the reasons why the Department of Justice established our office.
I'm just going to stop it right there. You know, I'm going to say that I'm probably not the first person to call Mueller impotent from the start. No, I'm just going to keep going. That's all.
Nice. Okay.
That is also a reason we investigated efforts to obstruct the investigation. The matters we investigated were of paramount importance. It was critical for us to obtain full and accurate information from every person we questioned.
Word salad.
When the subject of an investigation obstructs that investigation or lies to investigators, it strikes at the core of the government's effort to find the truth and hold wrongdoers accountable. Let me say a word about the report. The report has two parts, addressing the two main issues we were asked to investigate. The first volume of the report details numerous efforts emanating from Russia to influence the election. This volume includes a discussion of the Trump campaign's response to this activity, as well as our conclusion that there was insufficient evidence to charge a broader conspiracy. And in the second volume, the report describes the results and analysis of our obstruction of justice investigation involving the president.
That's hilarious.
How do you obstruct justice in an investigation
authorized us to
for a crime that
investigate
didn't
actions
occur?
that could
Just saying.
obstruct the
That is
investigation.
a thing. We'll cover that
We
after
conducted that investigation,
Of
and we
course.
kept the Office of the Acting Attorney General apprised of the progress of our work. And as set forth in the report, after that investigation, if we had had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so. We did not, however, make a determination as to whether the president did commit a crime. The introduction to the Volume 2 of our report explains that decision. It explains that under long-standing department policy, a president cannot be charged with a federal crime while he is in office. It's unconstitutional. Even if the charge is kept under seal and hidden from public view, that too is prohibited.
Wow, wow.
The special counsel's office is part of the Department of Justice, and by regulation, it was bound by that department policy. Charging the president with a crime was therefore not an option we could consider.
Oh,
The
man.
department's written opinion explaining the policy makes several important points. that further informed our handling of the obstruction investigation.
Those damn liberals.
Those points are summarized in our report, and I will describe 2 of them for you. First, the opinion explicitly permits the investigation of a sitting president because it is important to preserve evidence while memories are fresh and documents available. Among other things, that evidence could be used if there were co-conspirators who could be charged now. And second, the opinion says that the Constitution requires a process other than the criminal justice system to formally accuse a sitting president of wrongdoing. And beyond department policy, we were guided by principles of fairness. It would be unfair to potentially accuse somebody of a crime when there can be no court resolution of the actual charge. So that was Justice Department policy. Those were the principles under which we operated, and from them we concluded that we would not reach a determination one way or the other about whether the president committed a crime.
You know, he's not wrong about that. He really isn't.
I know he's not. Oh.
I mean, he sits up underneath the Muller's office, sits in the Justice Department, which sits directly underneath Trump. Without anything, I mean, right off the bat, Trump is this boss, so he's investigating his own boss with an inherent conflict of interest. That's the reason why it's actually Congress's job to do articles of impeachment and actually formally charge a president, is because there's a pretty much an inherent conflict of interest within it all. And of course, because the president appoints all of the judges and so on and so forth.
I couldn't do this job without you. I couldn't do this show without you because, I didn't even think of that point. But this is your show. But I just want to give you props for that. Mueller is investigating his boss. That point actually crossed my mind. So, props to you.
Absolutely. So, there's an inherent conflict of interest. So, that is the reason why. That is the reason why. Anyway, I'm going to continue. I'd really like to get done with this guy, so I'm going to let him keep going for a little while.
That is the office's final position, and we will not comment on any other conclusions or hypotheticals about the president. We conducted an independent criminal investigation and reported the results to the Attorney General, as required by department regulations. The Attorney General then concluded that it was appropriate to provide our report to Congress and to the American people. At one point in time, I requested that certain portions of the report be released. The Attorney General preferred to make the entire report public all at once.
Okay, get it out, guy.
We appreciate that the Attorney General made the report largely public, and I certainly do not question the Attorney General's good faith in that decision.
So Barr didn't do anything wrong.
Now, I hope and expect this to be the only time that I will speak to you in this manner. I am making that decision myself.
It literally sounds like
no one has told me whether I can or should testify or speak further about this matter. There has been discussion about an appearance before Congress. Any testimony from this office would not go beyond our report. It contains our findings and analysis and the reasons for the decisions we made.
All right, I get it.
We chose
You're
those
done.
words carefully.
So am I.
All right.
That's about as much as I can stand from this douche nozzle.
I had 2 sheets of toilet paper because he's probably dehydrated and delusional. He doesn't need any more than 2 sheets.
Yeah, I mean, he does.
That's not diarrhea. That's constipation.
Yeah.
He didn't even pinch a loaf.
Couldn't pinch a loaf. Couldn't pinch a loaf. Couldn't pinch a loaf if he tried. More backup for my claim of impotent from the start.
And we love Jimmy Dore on this show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, he, in my opinion, he didn't really strike at the heart of the matter, like, at all, of course. He dances around and
Yep.
But, you know, no matter what, Democrats and Republicans both got exactly what they wanted out of Mueller. It was he did a perfect job. He's released. He's going to go into the private sector. He is a made man still. He's still part of the club.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was yeah. I mean, he's going to go right in, and it's all the Mueller nonsense, the entire Russia circus. I like to call it bread and circuses. Hold the bread, but the whole thing, in just my humble opinion, is just a way to get us back into the Cold War, because a lot of people were doing quite well back then, and you know, we need to get back to the good old days when we were right on the edge of a nuclear war.
You all right?
Yeah. You all right?
Yeah, I'm trying to fit my face and my posters in.
Well, yeah. I can see your Bernie Sanders one. My favorite is actually kind of cut off by the Washington Post, which is an unfortunate thing, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
just in case people don't know, the Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos, that owns Amazon and owns a lot of other things, and is the richest man in the world. One of the recent episodes I did was actually I used a Washington Post thing. Okay, give me a second. It was not actually a YouTube episode, but I had to talk to my guild members, and I had to tell them that we're playing a game that's put up by Disney, and I had to inform them about it's 8-day-old news, which is stale in this current climate.
It's true. I've forgotten about that stuff.
Yeah. That we're paying a motherfucking $65 million a year salary motherfucker to play our game. If you pay money to play this game.
Yeah.
Of course, I had to, roll it back a little bit. Oh, congratulations for being free to play, and that's what we really talk about. But everyone else played shit. And don't you think that's why the Muller report is so fascinating to people? You're supposed to be the host. You're supposed to be the one asking these questions.
Well, well, no, I mean, absolutely. It's the it's like it gives everybody this we all like to be sort of in on the secret, or we like that feeling, and then when in on the secret is going along with the crowd, we also like that feeling. But I think the whole reason why it's so interesting to people is because it's scandalous, and it's regardless of whether it's true or not, it doesn't really matter. It's entertainment. Our political system is entertainment now. I personally think that the whole thing is just managed by the bureaucracy. That's just my. How do you feel about it? What,
Okay, so I agree with everything that you just said. Like, it's like people want reality to behave the same way that movies behave, and that's just not
good guys and bad guys.
Yeah, that's not how we run democracies.
It's it's just not how it works. And generally speaking, I look around really hard and I don't really see good guys or bad guys. I heard this quote.
Corruption is what we see. Corruption is what we see.
I mean, I see a lot of corruption everywhere, but I mean, to some extent, we're all kind of corrupt. We can.
That's a whole nother episode. That's
absolutely. That is a whole other episode.
You're the host, but I'm asking your standpoint. So
I am.
Televised revolution.
I am. But
the only show.
But if we are gonna talk about corruption, we got a corrupt lawyer talking about a corrupt real estate mogul, and he's underneath yet another corrupt lawyer, and they're all working for a corrupt bureaucracy, and and the whole thing is theoretically working for a group of corrupt people. It's yeah.
So for decades I've been hearing, the smarter people and the more punk rock people saying the government is full of nothing but lies. And I'm stealing the host role. Like, I'm usually the host, so this is hard for us to switch.
Yeah, I'm usually the crazy guy in the background just spouting off random stuff. That's what I do.
How do you fill in the lines with the corruption with this story?
You mean, like, how do I connect the dots here?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's complex and it's structural. The whole the entirety of what I would consider the military-industrial complex, although it would be I would even say that it's even larger than that, because the military intelligence complex or military surveillance complex is also part of that, and it would be a big boon to them if this particular story were true. And a lot of those people, particularly Jeff Bezos is a big part in this, because Amazon is one of the biggest players in the surveillance industry nowadays. He's actually the fastest growing defense contractor. Very few people know that about Amazon, but it's true. And so it just becomes a real big thing for everybody to look security minded, and they just, they have to, they can grab onto these huge government contracts for billions and billions of dollars, specifically to keep you surveilled, in the case of Amazon. But, of course, there's other reasons as well.
All right, since we're still getting used to flipping roles, how would you like to wrap this up?
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of. I think I'm done about talking about crusty old guys today. Are you? I think I've had just about enough.
People? Should we reward people for watching the video too?
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, it's rewarding enough, but I don't know. I don't know.
We're the only show on the internet that knows we're gonna go broke, but we just don't care.
The only show on the internet that, well, I mean, was already broke, but still don't care.
The only show on the internet that just told to say, I love you.
You know, brother, I love you too. I love you too.
True.
So,